The Coffee Hour. Welcome to Coffee with our morning host. We broadcast a host of programs like current topics, newspaper headlines, and music on Radio Sri Lanka. Tune in every weekday from 7 to 8 a.m.
That's right, we're just about to bring you Coffee Hour. And it's a very good morning to one and all tuned in, and also a very good morning to our guest who's here with us in the studio. It's our pleasure to have with us Mr. Krishna Murthy, the Director General of the Office for Overseas Sri Lankan Affairs. A very good morning to you, Mr. Krishna Murthy.
Very good morning, Saundi.
And thank you very much for beginning your day with us and accepting our invite. And talking of the Office for Overseas Sri Lankan Affairs, may we know why this office was incorporated and how it was all started and on what concept?
Oh, thank you very much. Well, in terms of concept, did you know, when the current president take over, he was provided an interim budget where he come out with number of policy initiatives, out of which one is the establishment of Office for Overseas Sri Lankan Affairs. Then this is to establish connectivity with our overseas Sri Lankan who are scattered all over the world. Then he consider them as our assets, and we have to give an opportunity for them to connect with the motherland. That is the basic behind. And when we see objective per se, serve as an interface for mutually beneficial engagement between Sri Lanka and the OSL, who wish to enhance the connection to their mother country in multiple ways. Of course, to reach out the OSL to strengthen their ties with the motherland and provide policy assistance to the government in the formulation of measures concerning affecting OSL. Then also we have to mobilize OSL for cooperation and assistance for motherland. And further I should say that we wanted to develop Sri Lanka as a prosperous nation. That is our President's vision. That is a shared responsibility. In that shared responsibility, politicians to academics to educationists to government, bureaucrats, even the OSL, all can be partnered. For that, this office functions as a center point to connect by giving a policy guidelines, interface, and facilitate them to be connected with Sri Lanka.
And talking of this office, Mr. Krishnamurthy, may we know where it is situated and approximately the reach, like how many it reaches, like in numbers, talking of numbers overseas, round about how many we are connected with?
Well, it's another good question. At the moment, we are located in the President's Secretariat, as the policy came from the highest political will. We wanted to get into translated into an action. Then, being in the President office, we have the convening power to reach out all the organs, both private and government, in order to make this connectivity. Then, being in the President office, the technical support we received overwhelmingly. Similarly, the policy intervention also can easily made. So, ensure that highest political will articulated to engage with the overseas Sri Lankans who are our assets. This place will facilitate in all front.
And talking of numbers, estimatedly how many are we reaching?
Oh, very good. That's a good point. But at the moment, it is estimated number is around 2.5 to 3 million people outside. They all gone from Sri Lanka in various time frame. There are 5 to 6, 7 waves was taken place. But we don't have exact number, rather this desk work provided estimated number. But 1.6 million people are in abroad who are gone for work only. For that, the data is available with the Ministry of Labour and Bureau of Employment, whereas others, we are in the process of mapping out. So part of our work, we started with the help of technical support of IOM, that is the International Organization of Migration, and our missions abroad, and the like-minded organization representing overseas Sri Lankan. We are in the process of mapping out. Once that mapping out comes, we will get the profile of who and what they support. But interior, anyone could reach out, and we have already through the numbers available with our foreign missions who come for services, and with the information with the foreign ministry, where during the troubled time like COVID-19 and other situations, where we collected the information. All that we are compiled. But we want, as an office of new initiative, we would like to have a proper one through a mapping out in soon.
Right. All right, let's take a musical break and come back with more talk on Coffee Hour.
City sidewalks, busy sidewalks, dressed in holiday style. In the air there's a feeling of Christmas. Children laughing, people passing, meeting smile after smile. And on every street corner you hear silver bells. Silver bells, it's Christmas time in the city. Ring-a-ling, hear them ring. Soon it will be Christmas Day. Strings of street lights, even stoplights, blink of bright red and green as the shoppers rush home with their treasures. Hear the snow crunch, see the kids bunch. This is Santa's big scene. And above all this bustle, you hear silver bells, silver bells. It's Christmas time in the city. Ring-a-ling, hear them ring. Soon it will be Christmas Day. Silver bells, hear them ring. Soon it will be Christmas Day.
We are on Coffee Hour over the airwaves of Radio Sri Lanka and have with us in the studio Mr. Krishna Murthy, the Director General of the Office for Overseas Sri Lankan Affairs. Well, getting back to the functions of this office, Mr. Krishna Murthy, how do we define the overseas Sri Lankans and those you are reaching out to?
Thank you. That's another good question, because we define for the purpose of USLA the term overseas Sri Lankan, which embrace three broad categories of individuals. They are, one, non-resident Sri Lankan. Mm-hmm. This non-resident Sri Lankan formed Sri Lankan who have gone abroad. They are Sri Lankan citizen, holding Sri Lankan passport, but living abroad, resident in our foreign countries. Then category 2 is Sri Lankan citizen by birth, but they have gone abroad, when subsequently obtained another country citizens, that means they virtually naturalize with the respective residents of that country. They are also a OSL. Plus, we have to see the persons of Sri Lankan origin, that is, either their parents or one of the parents would be a Sri Lankan, or even the foreparents could be a Sri Lankan. For they are the descendants of Sri Lankan, so there is a natural affinity and feeling can be established. So these are the broad category of three kind of people we will define OSLs. Then we are in the process of making a law. We already drafted a bill. The bill categorically given this identity. So legally these people become overseas Sri Lankan. They could enjoy the connectivity and get their services, and they can give back something for this country.
Right. Talking of this particular office, by the looks of it and by all that you have told us, it looks like it is a bridge or a link between those overseas and back home. Am I correct?
Very correct, very correct.
Right.
Yes.
So just to ask you, out of the box, out of context, just in case there's a Sri Lankan overseas, perhaps they may have been talking of adoption, they may have been adopted at a very young age, given up for adoption, and now with their parents overseas, with whoever the parent was, whichever nationality took them overseas in their infancy. Just in case they want to get back to their roots, find out their heritage and their parentage, will this office will it provide such a service?
Certainly, because this is the center point for connectivity. Mm-hmm. So they may have, adapted, would have been made very legal terms. Therefore, all these, though there are privacy laws, not divulge everything, but there may be classified information available within the system. So if such people approached our office, certainly we are willing, more than anything, we will be willing to support and to establish the reconnectivity with them to ensure that roots are not forgotten and they are well connected. Certainly we'll do that.
Yeah, because I'm sure you too would have come across many paper articles of people who are overseas. We see the posts on Facebook of people trying to reach out back to trying to find out who their mom was, who their dad was, and also whether they had any other siblings. So because I've come across some of those articles, I was wondering, so this office functions in that aspect as well, correct?
Certainly.
Right. And talking of the response from those whom you are reaching to, what is the response and how good has it been so far?
Well, we have started talking to and engaging the Sri Lankans living overseas since January 2023, when we started this office.
Right.
We have developed an action plan and commenced our dialogue with individuals as well as OSL Association through our existing contact list as well as through facilitation from our missions abroad. When we meet them, we see virtually they are in the person during their private visit and everything. They are come and meet us. And when we exchange the views, we see overwhelming support. Then we also electronically communicate with them, and we also note they are very much optimistic, and the enthusiasm also I have seen a huge level. They can approach through emails as of now, and our email address is OOSLA, that is OOSLA at presidentsoffice.lk. And if they can send it, then we can easily work it out. And we also establish our social media Twitter account and Facebook. We also intend to launch a website on coming December 18, where we are celebrating the International Migration Day, recognizing the OSL contribution. So with that, I think that will play a role as an interface, easy to access by the overseas Sri Lankan.
So this office is quite young, just about going to complete 1 year next January, as from what you say. Talking of the economic contributions, and which is something Sri Lanka definitely needs at this point, talking of investment and economic stability and how the overseas Sri Lankans are contributing to it. What can you tell us on that?
That's again one of the important objective of this office. This is overseas Sri Lankans. We consider them as assets.
That's right.
Why we say asset? They have gone abroad and established themselves in their own rights. And also we can see they are positioned very well through their hard work by utilizing the opportunity available in that respective destination they are chosen. In that sense, they have accumulated very good knowledge, know-how, in a good decision-making position. Some even become politicians. Some people are aspiring politicians. Some are working with political leaders and supporting. And they are in a good business orientation. So they have accumulated knowledge where with the base what they received from the Sri Lankan free education and healthcare. So therefore, when we talking to the people, we have seen they are ready to give back something to the society.
Right.
Because the overseas, when they are educating their children and other services, they have to a large portion of their earnings to be spent. Whereas they felt they have get everything free of charge in this country. Hence, they thought they are thinking to give back something tangible. So we have kind of a ready-made plan, and also we are intent to have to connect with the national policy, and we are working with all the respective stakeholders. We have 23 stakeholders here. With this respective stakeholder to come out with action to fit some projects and proposal to be ready-made.
Right.
For made it available publicly for the OSL to see whether what sort of help, assistance they could give back. So we will be a systematic way we will do rather than anyone to come on ad hoc basis or unsolicited way. But at present, they are doing, number of people privately they are doing. I know that one of our friends named Muralidharan from Melbourne, they are running with their number of people school feeding program and smart classes that they have started after the COVID-19. Then this is one of the giving back and feeding people, the children of course, through the community service here. So that kind of things are always there. Then we already reached the second generation of our Sri Lankan. One Canada, one lady, she was to give something through education. Then we, through the education ministry, and now in the central province, Hatton, where the St. Gabriel schools, they are teaching English, conversational English for the all the school leavers after O-level. Then this class is every Friday conducted from Canada, around 1 hour. I think our children are get benefiting because you will be knowing even the president wanted to establish the English is an important aspect to that. Then in the similar way, we can see from Estonia, one of our Sri Lankan, so he gave, she's very expert on cyber security.
Right.
So she trained our 62 instructors in the youth corps. Then they were overwhelmingly got that idea. With that, they are training 7,500 students in the youth corps all over Sri Lanka. So likewise, they are ready to give back something. Similarly, there are leadership program, and you can name it. And even we are working closely with the University Grant Commission, Ministry of Education. They are all our partners, and there are a number of academics who are in the good position in America, Asia, Pacific, and everywhere. They are supporting that kind of initiative. Of course, this is a collective, and as I told earlier, it's a shared responsibility in that if we created this platform and in the policy level if we establish a room, then OSL support easily can channel and get the benefit to realize our prosperity.
Right, let's take a musical break and come back. Welcome back to Coffee Hour on Radio Sri Lanka, and we are in conversation with Mr. Krishna Murthy, the Director General of the Office for Overseas Sri Lankan Affairs, a rather newly established office. Well, Mr. Krishna Murthy, talking of, we have been discussing on how this office performs and what it is looking at and what its objectives are and the goals. Talking of the tangible and intangible assistance that has been received from overseas Sri Lankans, can you mention whether there are any specific investments that have been received?
Yes, this is again a very good question, of course, and we already received tourism-related projects, and one is in Kandy, another one is in southern part of it, and they have both come from Netherlands. And how we worked it, as I told you, we invited all the stakeholders to our office through our convening power. Then, in the table, we were openly discussed, and they all agreed to facilitate. The good thing is, and even that Candy project, everything smoothly cleared except one matter in CEB. That is also, we already reaching out the Honorable Minister to sort it out. So this is the facilitation is kind of, we are targeting like a one-stop shop like thing. Similarly, another person wanted to see certain project, then the SLTEB, they have taken over, show it to him. Of course, the person not yet taken a decision. This is for just for an example I'm saying. What we are doing in our office is, we are really building a network of global OSL, prominent Sri Lankan, who can act as a catalyst for Sri Lanka's progress. And benefiting from their expertise and influence Sri Lanka's development. This is how we think. We have 23 stakeholders. They are working on it. And OSL is coordinating with them, facilitating as an agency to implement such projects initiated by the OSL.
So talking of these projects, Mr. Krishnamurthy, coming back now, we have been discussing of how this is reaching out to overseas Sri Lankans. When these are set in place and are on the track, are there going to be any benefits, or will there be any benefits for those at home, for Sri Lanka per se?
Naturally, yes, because now this Candy project, if it is take off, that area, very remote area, Tumban area. So one is that when this electricity we sorted out, the electricity is coming. They are not spoiling that environment. With that protecting environment, they are intended to build the boutique hotels. Right. Where the investor is from Netherlands. He is an OSL. He is very closely connected with the royal family. So he is targeting royal family, Europeans, and everyone. So he has the knowledge and talent and try to bring. When they came, his investments will come, and the people surround the area get trained, and even this the hotel school leavers and everyone can benefit. Similarly, in number of places, because tourism is one of the good earning area, and if we are targeting or realizing the numbers we are envisaging in the long run, the facilities must be provided in that. So government cannot do anything in its own, but it's only facilitate. Whereas the private sector and this OSL also could come and do it. So if the right climate created and they get all the approvals in a quick phase, then they can realize. Of course, business decisions are individual decisions. If they see a guarantee of return or guarantee of their investment, certainly it will come. So that part we will create through the political intervention, in the sense of policy intervention.
And when all this is done, do you think it will indirectly have an impact on costs? Like you mentioned this electricity project in Kandy. Like talking of costs, will the costs come down? Will that have a effect on that?
Well, the cost factor is always there, because it's a market driven, this one.
Yes.
Government agency also cannot simply give anything free at this moment.
Right.
So there should be some kind of a working arrangements, kind of that EMI, like for say, if you are an investor, you cannot invest a whole lot of money on that connectivity. At least the government can come with an agreement or MOU with the respective investor and can invest, and you can monthly basis they can pay back. So that kind of facilitation to realize this project can be achieved.
Right.
Yes.
And any good office that is performing and functioning will certainly also meet with limitations, restraints and constraints and obstacles on its path. Well, have you encountered any such?
Well, building a confidence among OSL is important drive. What we are thinking. In the meantime, these stakeholders, 23, we are not entering into anyone's work. Instead, we facilitating. So, then any good concept must be translated to action. Mean the bureaucrats and the people and everyone must understand the good point what is this IS politically is articulated. If it is, then we need to create an awareness and to train the mindset. And I should say a theory of change must come in. And then theory of change come into, certainly we can make the changes. That's what I say. This is not individual interest, it's a shared responsibility. In that shared responsibility, OSL as an asset can be accumulated.
All right, Mr. Krishna Murthy, it has been good talking to you on Coffee Hour, and together with our producer, Mrs. Indira Navagamo. Thank you very much. May I thank you for taking your time off the day, beginning your day with us here in the studio, and giving us an incisive account of how this office functions.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You were listening to Coffee Hour, and we had with us Mr. Krishna Murthy, the Director General of the Office for Overseas Sri Lankan Affairs, with us in conversation.